Hi gardeners, welcome to a new video. My name is Emmanuel Arce, well known to be the ultimate gardener. I'm a 16-year-old agriculturist here in Southern Florida, and my main focus is permaculture as well as food forestry. So I've been preparing my garden for the next following up growing season, and I've been transforming my garden to a food forest luxury, which means I've only been growing and installing plants in my garden that are tropical and edible. Yesterday, I received a shipment of 5 fruit trees to install in my garden from the Food Forest Nursery. A huge shout out to them. They are a small business that provides bare root fruit trees for everybody all over the United States. I highly recommend for you to go check them out. I'll be leaving all their media information in the description box for you guys to check out. Make sure to go check them out, follow them on their journey, and purchase some cool stuff from them because they have a few amazing varieties for you to choose from. However, as you saw by the title of this video, I'm running an experiment. I'll be installing 5 fruit trees in my garden that are not commonly seen to be grown here in Southern Florida, so I could see if I could beat all odds and get some produce off of them. So I'll be discussing with you all about how to care and grow bare root fruit trees once you receive them in the mail. But meanwhile we do that, I'll be discussing with you guys about the species of fruit trees I chose and the varieties, and why I chose them, and so you can see what type of experiment I'll be doing, and I'll be giving you guys all the details on this experiment as well. So let's go ahead and move on to the first part of this video. Is all about bare root fruit trees and what you should do when you receive them in the mail. So the very first thing you should do when you receive bare root fruit trees in the mail is to soak them in water. They've been in transit for a few days without any supply of water. So once you receive them in the mail, take them out their packaging and soak them in water at least overnight. That's what I did because they need a good soak of water and a good drink of water for them to start developing more roots when you pot them up, which we'll be doing today. So coming to step number 2 is to pot up your fruit trees. This is a vital step to do because this will allow your trees to start acclimating and getting used to the environment that they're surrounded by. For example, these 5 fruit trees are coming from a different state with different environment conditions, and they're being transitioned to a more tropical, humid environment. So my main goal is to slowly acclimate them to our environment so they can start growing, developing new roots, and so eventually they could develop new growth in foliage as well. But none of that could happen unless you pot them up. It's really important you do that so your trees can start getting some new roots growing, a new root system developing, so then by the time you plant them out in your garden, they'll be ready to start setting fruit for you. So coming in number 1 is the Einschmier apple. So this one I selected for the main reason of, if you've been with me for some time now, you know that I have a golden Dorset apple tree that has not been giving me any fruit whatsoever because it doesn't have another apple tree to crossbreed with. And so the Einschmier apple is compatible with the golden Dorset, so I decided to get it just for that. So coming at fruit tree number 2 is the Santa Rosa plum. So I've always wanted to grow a plum, and now that I have a peach tree, I was able to go step down to my next following up tree that I wanted to grow that kind of is in that same family. And so I really wanted to grow plums because I really want to try a organic plum, and also because my second mother, aka my neighbor, loves plums, so it works out perfectly. So once again, this is the Santa Rosa plum, which is our second fruit tree. So coming to fruit tree number 3 is the Methley plum. So once again, like the fruit trees I selected, all of them need another variety of the same species of fruit tree in order to crossbreed and give me fruit. I decided to go with this one because it's compatible with the Santa Rosa plum. So this is fruit tree number 3. So coming to our second to last fruit tree, aka our 4th fruit tree, is the Kite pear. So this one I grabbed because 1, I love how pears look, especially the tree once it's in full bloom and full glory with pears on it. I love how it looks, but also because my family does eat pears, and so hopefully we could get that in as well. All these fruit trees I selected are able to grow in zone 9. I'm a zone 10. So the experiment I'm trying to go with is a little bit more growing fruit trees that could grow in a zone lower than me, like one zone lower than me, but I'll explain more about the experiment after I pot all these fruit trees. So once again, Kiefer pear is fruit tree number 4. So coming to our 5th and final fruit tree is the Shin-Siki Asian pear. I'll put the name up where you can see it right there. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Pardon if I didn't. This is, once again, a pear for the regular pear tree. So it can crossbreed and give me fruit. So this is the 5th and final fruit tree. So let me pot this one up and let's discuss about the experiment. So a few tips you should keep in mind when it comes to caring for bare roots fruit trees. Number 1, you need to supply them with a lot of water. You want to make sure that that soil is constantly moist so they can have a water supply to draw from. So number 2 is you have to adjust their sunlight requirement. What happens is, like their bare root and they're coming from a different state and different environment conditions, I'm keeping my full sun loving trees in the shade for now because I want to wait until some new growth starts appearing that I'm seeing that they're actually adjusting to my environment and they're starting to grow, because I don't want to expose them to full sun just yet, because then that could fry them off, that could dry them out too quickly. So I'm keeping them protected from our very harsh sun in my shade house for at least until I see the roots start developing and probably until I see growth starts emerging. So now a little bit of information on the experiment. So the experiment is to see if these fruit trees can grow and thrive here in Southern Florida in my zone 10B climate. It's a long stretch, especially since none of these fruit trees actually grow in a 10B climate, let alone in a zone that's tropical, humid, and doesn't have long periods of cold time. And so it's kind of a big stretch, but I have faith that these fruit trees will do good in my climate. Needless to say that I have a golden Dorset apple tree that has performed prolifically for me. It's produced flowers, so I have faith that the other fruit trees will do just as fine. So I'll keep you guys updated on when I'm gonna be planting these trees out into the garden, how they look like, etc. And once again, a huge shout out to the Food Forest Nursery for partnering with us on this video. They're an amazing company. Go check them out. Once again, all their information is listed below, so make sure you go check them out. So thank you all so much for watching. Once again, I'm Emmanuel Arce, the 16-year-old agriculturist here in Southern Florida that focuses all about permaculture and food forestry. So thank you all so much for watching, and may God bless you and your entire family, and never forget to grow big, ultimate gardeners. Bye everyone.